Hi guys, this is Dr. Khan and hope you guys are all doing well. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the enabling Muslim mom or the enabling South Asian, Middle Eastern, Arab mom. Okay, so what do I mean by that? All right, think about this. Does any of this sound familiar? Oh no, my husband is angry. I have to go drop everything and go console him. Oh no, my husband is cursing and throwing things. I have to go and console him. I have to fix him. He had a really bad childhood. The teacher complained, oh no, my son or daughter couldn't have done that. It's the teacher's fault. My son just had a bad day. My daughter just had a bad day. What about this? I worked all day. I can't sit. The house needs me. Oh no, my son needs me. I have to drop everything and help him. Forget about my doctor's appointment. My child yelled at me. It's okay. He or she had a bad day. My mother-in-law doesn't care about my wants. It's okay. Let me not say anything. Let me not rock the boat. If that sounds very familiar to you, or sounds familiar to in your household, that means you have an enabler in your household, or you are an enabler yourself. So now I want to talk about what enabling behavior includes. What is that? Okay. So I'm going to list all the ways you can enable somebody, or if you have these particular characteristics, you are exhibiting enabling behavior. You have to fix everyone. Don't take action right away. My feelings don't matter. Always saying yes to everybody. Not aware of my own feelings. Allowing things that I dislike. Or I don't even know what I dislike. Denial. Don't see things for what it is. Too many excuses. Too many chances for people. I act like a robot or a puppet to everyone else's mood or needs. I make excuses. I don't check intentions or consistencies in other people's behavior. I'm a bit naive. I'm not expressive right away. Not decisive. I make decisions based on guilt and shame. I don't prioritize myself. I don't have any self-care. I feel sorry for people a lot, very guilt-based. I let things linger. I don't follow up. I second-guess myself. I don't stand up for myself. So, if you exhibit these behaviors, you're exhibiting enabling behavior. Okay, so first we've identified what enabling sounds like and looks like. Then we identified what enabling behavior, what the characteristics of enabling behavior include. Okay, well now, I'm going to talk about how it all begins and how to find a solution and how to grow from it. So, enabling Muslim moms, this happens in a lot of Muslim families. Why does this happen? Okay, like I said in many of my lectures, we are born as a blank slate. We start to become programmed by society, by the culture, and our upbringing. And whatever that's imprinted in our programming, our computer becomes in autopilot mode, gets into autopilot mode. So now we do this and we come into this robotic state. We basically, when we're born, there's a mirror that exists, like we're a blank slate, and then whatever images, whatever society and culture embeds in us is replayed in reality as we become adults. So we become unaware, and we just kind of become robotic and start replaying our parent values, the images, the faulty cultural beliefs, that may have distorted religion, and that's what ends up happening. Why does this happen? Okay, from our upbringing. Well, you have a mom who's in a robotic state, basically because she wasn't validated as a child. She wasn't seen by her mother or her family. So she ends up just doing for the family, and she becomes numb. Then you have a father who never got validated, and he may have been just ignored because his dad was having his own issues and living out his own programming. So then you have an angry dad who's always having angry tantrums, or a codependent dad. Okay, again, why does this happen to our mother and father? Because we've been ignored as children because our parents were living out their programming. Okay, so now, what are the programming? What is the actual programming that has occurred in many Muslim families, particularly Muslim mothers? Okay, so because they didn't receive the validation from their parents, and because society teaches us to be codependent, culture teaches us to be codependent, mothers start seeking approval, and they start trying to get validation from their fathers, their mothers, their husbands, their mother-in-laws, even their own children. Because again, no one has ever cared about their wants and needs. So a lot of these mothers start tolerating neglect. They tolerate criticism, right? So basically they don't react because they don't want to rock the boat, because they've been in such a dysfunctional situations where nobody cared about their feelings. They tolerate, like I said, criticism. They glorify their own parents who've associated good with being a martyr or associated good with sticking it out. So they've been programmed to believe that there's glory and honor in sacrificing in the expense of yourself. Then they've also been programmed to idealistic thinking, like, oh, one wrong situation in the family, your life has to be miserable. If you have one child that's struggling and you can't help them, your life is miserable. So again, there's that idealistic thinking where everything needs to be perfect. If there's a family argument, we're distressed, oh my goodness, the world is over. There's that tone of idealistic thinking, underlying tone. They're always in fix-it mode. These mothers are always in fix-it mode. Oh my goodness, my husband's having a tantrum. Oh no, after they start, dealing with their husband's tantrum, their son's tantrums. Oh no, my son's having a tantrum. They're very robotic at home. They don't sit and they don't just be. They need to be on the go, on the go, on the go. They don't even know how to relax. Their homes are run based on gossip. What will people think? On competition-based. They're very competition-based. Judgment-based. There's no room for mistakes. Shame-based. Guilt-based. And there's a distorted view on religion because it's infected by culture. So there's no clarity, and there's a big overlap between religion and culture, and there's lots of contradictions. And the children in these families become very, very turned away. They turn away from the religion because the culture just infects the household. Okay, so now on top of that, as all of this is going on, what's the result? What ends up happening is the mother becomes so numb. She doesn't even know what's right and wrong anymore. She doesn't know what her values are anymore. She doesn't even know what her wants and needs are, okay? Because again, like I said, she didn't get the validation as a child, right? Now she's not getting validation as an adult, and she's always seeking for validation outside of herself. And then this is where all this enabling behavior comes in, because she feels like she has to fix everybody else. That's her job. There's honor in fixing and sacrificing. There's so much honor in it. And then there's the reinforcers, where you have Bollywood movies or particular movies from these cultures where you're programmed. There's, again, these movies are reinforcing and the programming that's happened. Oh my goodness, if he or she rejects me, my world is over. If I can't get that girl or that guy, oh no. Oh my goodness, disrespect, honor. There's no room for human weakness or mistakes. So again, that idealistic thinking, these movies actually reinforce all these ideas on top of it. So it makes it worse. So now, what's the solution? How do we help these enabling mothers? These mothers who, at the end of the day, become so sick from all the hardship and all the sacrifice that they've made. Many of these mothers, you'll notice have high blood pressure, heart attacks, and stress. Stress is on extreme levels. So now what's the solution? Okay, the solution is, mothers, please, you are a living being created by God. God took your time to create you. Love yourself. Now, what's the solution? Remember, you cannot give up your values, you cannot give up your own needs in the expense of others. Also remember, list your unhealthy desires. So number one, list all your unhealthy desires. That means, what are some situations that you feel that you cannot live without? Like, oh my goodness, if my family isn't perfect, my life is over. Think about these desires that you have, the perfect family, and understand that they're not realistic. Every family has problems. You just keep trying. List your attachments. Again, what is it that devastates you? What is it that upsets you? What makes you sad? What makes you angry? What do you react to? As soon as you realize that, you can understand what your attachments are. And you have to remember that the only person or only being that you need to be attached to is God, right? Drop all the other attachments. Drop all the other attachments. Because when you have attachments, it brings you heartache. You turn it into this desire that, oh my goodness, my life is over if this doesn't occur. Then I want you to list all the enabling behavior that you have. List all the enabling behavior that you have. Next, make time for self-care. Take care of yourself. Go to the spa. Eat, drink, water. Take your vitamins. Notice when you're in autopilot robot mode. Notice when you do that. Start observing yourself when you're like on the go, and stop and say, wait a second, how do I feel? Notice who and how particular loved ones in your family push those robot buttons. They expect that from you. Like, mother, mom, do this. Or your husband comes on, wife, do this, do this, do this.